Up and became the Dean of Country Music, and then he became the king of an empire of food. The life and times of Jimmy Dean, next on TNN.
Now, you must respect antiquity. I am old. Be quiet.
There are those who sing country, those who write country, and those who sell country. But one man has done it all, Jimmy Dean.
Here we go. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. Pick it up.
For over 40 years, Jimmy Dean has been a symbol of the heart and soul of the sound he helped put on the map of American music.
Kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip, and everybody knew you didn't give no lip to Big John. Ready?
I think one of the things that makes Jimmy Dean significant in country music is he's a country man. And he done a lot of albums and things that were really country music. And he's always been a great showman, great musician, and he was one of the pioneers, so to speak, in country music.
Jimmy's had a tremendous impact on country music, especially in the early days, because he said to the world, country music is pretty cool today, whether you think it is or not. And that was in the face of everything out there that was sort of anti-country at the time.
He brought a lot of folks out of Nashville and introduced all of the artists, including me, with a high tone, with a lot of respect. And I don't think you could ask any more of anyone. So his importance in this business is you can't really measure it.
At the bottom of this mine lies a big, big man, Big John. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John, Big John. You did a wonderful
Jimmy
job.
Dean's career could very well be the definition of success. He is known for singing, songwriting, sausages, and for hosting 2 national television shows where he presented some of country's most famous stars to the public. But success was a long way from where his life began. Jimmy was born on a farm in the Texas Panhandle in 1928. There, he helped work the land, while his mother, a local barbershop owner, supported the family as best she could.
Poverty was the greatest motivating factor in my life. I remember distinctly wearing bib overalls and shirts that my mother had made out of sugar sack. I wore that to school. Didn't win too many popularity contests, by the way. But they laughed at my clothes, and they laughed at the house that we lived in, and that my mother had to cut hair to make enough money to get our school clothes and whatever else we needed. But I look at it, and I am extremely grateful to those kids that laughed at me, because they built a fire in me. When they laughed at me, inside there was something saying, I'll show you one of these days, I'll show you.
Jimmy began showing them when he developed his talent for playing several musical instruments, and by his late teens, he had taken those skills far away from the farm. Like many boys who came of age in the 1940s, Jimmy enlisted in the service. For 2 years, he was a merchant marine. Then he went into the Air Force. He was stationed at Bolling Air Force Base in Washington, D.C., and there his legendary status as a great performer began to take shape. For the first time, Jimmy realized he could entertain not just his family, but other people as well.
I used to carry this little old accordion around for my own amusement. And a group of guys from the Bolling Air Force Base asked me to work with them. They said they'd give me 1/4 of the tips. And it was the middle of the month, and I was broke, and I said, why not? So it started there.
Jimmy left the service in 1948 and formed the band the Texas Wildcats. Before long, they were a local radio sensation. And by 1952, they were touring bases in both the U.S. and the Caribbean. But that was just the beginning of Jimmy's meteoric rise to fame.
I got an old slouch hat, got the roll on my shoulder.
During the same year, Jimmy had recorded his first hit, Bummin' Around.
Just a bumming around. I got a million friends.
The success of Bummin' Around got Jimmy Dean noticed, but his talent for entertaining got him on television.
Not even a blue, just a bumming around.
Jimmy had become a local star. He averaged 10 hours a week on both WARL radio and the Town and Country Time television show. But still, he wanted more. A former Texas Wildcat band member remembers the early years well.
Got an old slouch hat.
The success that he's obtained didn't happen to Jimmy. He worked at it. The rest of the band, after we got through playing, we'd go out and party for the rest of the night. And Jimmy would stay with us about 30 minutes. It was time for him to go home, get his rest, get up first thing in the morning and start making phone calls. Getting in touch with these people that may be able to help him later down the line. He took college courses. We're over here running up and down the road going, hey, ain't this something? And he's over there studying and taking care of business.
Just a bumming around.
The entertainment business was always a means to an end to me because I had seen too many over the years who had made a pot full of it and it was gone. They blew it all. So I worked at the industry, you know. I was thinking while a lot of them were drinking, you know, and I knew it wouldn't last forever. And I was always afraid, but I think running and scared is kind of good. Makes you do some right things now and then.
And with the painful memories of life on the farm not far behind, the young and driven Jimmy Dean ran straight toward success. The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean returns in a moment on TNN.
I want this one.
Quaker toasted oatmeal, crisp oatmeal flakes, and honey sweetened clusters. You haven't wanted a cereal this badly since you were a kid. Hey, you might want a bigger spoon because we've made Quaker toasted oatmeal even better tasting.
At Superior Bank, we help homeowners. That's what we do. And we've been busy helping homeowners in all kinds of credit and income situations for over 75 years, consolidating your high-interest credit card debt, reducing the number of your monthly payments to just one, and getting you the cash you need when you need it, working with you, simply, easily, and honestly. That's Superior Bank at 1-888-678-7777.
This is Nasal-Cron. It doesn't just relieve allergies. It flat out prevents them. So you can live like a person with no allergies, with no drowsiness, no jitters, no dependency. Nasal-Cron. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
Here we go. You can escape into the cool world of A Bug's Life. Here we go. One more time. Everybody's feeling fine. Here we go now. A Bug's Life, rated G, from Disney and Pixar, coming to video tomorrow.
The Arm & Hammer Challenge. How's your cat litter work?
The odor clumps break apart.
Then the smell is left behind.
Let's compare it to Super Scoop.
With our brand, the odor clumps are breaking up.
The Arm & Hammer odor clumps all in one piece. It's amazing.
It would cut down on the smell.
Try the Super way to scoop odor away.
When I take a liquid antacid, I feel like, ugh.
Well, now there's new fast-acting Mylanta Supreme.
What makes it supreme?
Wow.
Well, that's good. I'm not kidding.
Very light.
Yeah, it tastes like a dessert.
Supreme relief. Taste it for yourself.
Whatever a great vacation sounds like to your family, you'll find it in Tennessee. Experience new adventures at the world's largest freshwater aquarium. Catch some waves at one of our great attractions. Or you can just enjoy the sounds of the wildlife.
Whatever sounds good to you.
Sounds like Tennessee to me.
For your free vacation guide, call 1-800-GO-TO-TENN.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean continues on TNN.
You know, one of the big reasons that country and Western music has gained national popularity is the young fellow that we're about to meet. In just a few months' time, this young man, Jimmy Dean, has become a favorite of not only country folks, but folks all over the country. Let's welcome the one and only Jimmy Dean here.
From the very beginning, Jimmy Dean was a well-received performer.
Well, please don't talk about me when I'm gone. Although our friendship ceases from now on. Well, if you can't say anything real nice, better not to talk at all. That's my advice now.
He could sing, but his easygoing, sweet manner is what really endeared him to the audience.
I always thought he had something. He never got nervous about anything. You know, some people would be on television and radio like he was, would, you know, would have the shakes when they went on. Not him. As far as he was concerned, he had done it for 100 years, you know. He had a lot of confidence. A lot.
Well, now it makes no difference how I carry on.
In the early years, Jimmy Dean used his talent for sales to help promote his own image.
Tater, please don't talk about me when I'm gone.
By the late 1950s, Jimmy Dean had sold himself to CBS television executives. And in 1958, he became the host of The Morning Show.
Thank God for the ignorance of the officials at CBS. They didn't know me from Eddie Arnold and Ernest Tubb and Roy. They didn't know. And I just did a little show on a kinescope and sent it to them. And the officials at CBS said, I like him. And that's how I wound up with the show, and all those people, big shots down in Nashville, saying, how the hell do you do that?
Once Jimmy got on the air, all of America had the opportunity to see the man the people of Washington, D.C. had so warmly embraced. Right from the start, Jimmy had that special something that attracts a wide audience. In Hollywood, it's known as it. But in the Dean home, it was simply a part of Jimmy.
I try to remember, basically, the thing that my granddaddy gave me a long time ago when I first went on CBS in the early morning. He said, be yourself, boy, because if people don't like you as you are, they're not going to like you as somebody you're trying to be.
With a hit song and his own television show on the air, Jimmy Dean could have sat back and basked in the glow of the limelight. But instead, the determined Texan hoped to take his career to yet another level. And by 1961, he had succeeded when he recorded what would become his signature song, Big Bad John.
The old song goes something like this, right? Big John, Big John, Big Bad John. I think it's one of the great records that was done during that era. One of the great ones, maybe through like 40, 50 years of the business, because that was really he brought that to life, that song. I can understand why it was a monstrous hit. Great performance.
Every morning into mine, you could see him arrive. He stood 6'6" and weighed 245, kind of broad at the shoulder and narrow at the hip. But everybody knew you didn't give no lift to Big John.
You know, I hate to say this, but the song came from the fact that I worked in summer stock with a guy named John Minto, who was 6'5", and he's the skinniest thing you ever saw. But I used to say, Big John. And I was on a plane going to Nashville, and I needed another song, and I just put him in a mine and killed him, that's all. And do you know, to this day, this is terrible. I have yet to go into a working mine. Is that something? Write a song about a mine? I'd never been in there.
Whether or not Jimmy Dean had been in a mine didn't seem to matter to his fans.
Then came the day at the bottom of the mine when
Within weeks, Big Bad John went solid gold, and its quick rise up the Billboard charts sent shockwaves through the music industry.
He finally really hit as an artist when he did Big Bad John. I don't know if you know the story about that, but his contract was up with Columbia Records, and he just came in to record, and nobody was expecting him to do anything. Okay, go in and record. You haven't been selling any records, so we don't have anything to worry about. And he records that song, puts it out, and I mean, it was just an instantaneous million seller. So he really had fun playing with him and get him a new contract put together.
Big Bad John sold over 6 million copies. And when it became not just the #1 song in the nation, but a hit record around the world as well, Jimmy Dean secured a place for himself within the pages of music history.
It was really just did a lot of wonderful things and opened a lot of doors. I wrote that thing in an hour and a half. Is that ludicrous? It's ridiculous. I wouldn't mind writing a few more up like that, but it was really good to me.
at the bottom of this mine, I'm going to do it the way I wrote it, lies one hell of a man, Big John. Big John, Big John, Big Bad John, Big John. You did a good job. Give yourself a nice hand, will you, all right?
After Big Bad John, the poor boy from Plainview, Texas, was well on his way to stardom. And in 1963, he became the host of his own program, The Jimmy Dean Show.
The Jimmy Dean Show with Jimmy's friends.
There, Jimmy began to shatter the walls that blocked country music from filtering into America's pop culture.
Jimmy was the first to start a country show on television, and therefore almost all of the country guests at the time, I mean the country artists of the time, appeared on the Jimmy Dean Show. And certainly when someone had a new record out that he thought was particularly good, he would want them to be on the show immediately and help introduce it and help kick it off for them.
I'd done a lot of television shows like here in Nashville, local stuff, but going to New York and appearing on a network show was the big break I needed. And he put me on his show, and he saw to it that I was comfortable and got a good shot, and he really gave me a build-up was just fabulous.
Folks, I don't ever get enough of this. When I go down to Nashville and record, if I ever got a few hours off in the nighttime, I'll go down to the carousel and just listen to this boy wail his head off. You got a new album, a brand new album out.
His early television show gave a lot of exposure to a lot of artists, a lot of people that probably, you know, maybe wouldn't have made it successful as they did if it hadn't been for him. Because he was one of the pioneers in getting country music to the masses of people through television, because back then it just wasn't done very often. And the exposure that he gave to a lot of people really gave him a big star.
Jimmy is known for helping to promote many of country's biggest stars, but he's also known for introducing the nation to the puppet known as Rolf.
I told Jim Henson that you never know how the chemistry will work with a puppet. And when Jimmy was talking to him, he was talking like this, and he would put the microphone over to the puppet for, you know, for the response, and then back to his mouth. And I was sitting at the corner of the rehearsal hall, and I said, Jimmy believes in the puppet. He thinks the sound's coming out of that puppet, so let's really plan to use it on the show. And he and Jim Henson and the puppet got along handsomely, and he became a staple, and it was the Muppets' first introduction to network television.
Do I really look like David Niven?
Like David Niven?
Steve McQueen?
Well,
Mickey Rooney?
I don't think you.
When it came to entertaining, Jimmy Dean was a natural, and that innate ability propelled him forward. For years, he continued to develop the skills that ultimately helped him achieve a level of success others could only dream about. The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean returns in a moment on TNN.
Also try new Genuine Bear Gel Caps, the only gel cap that can help save your life. New Bear Gel Caps, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
Does your older dog seem confused? Doesn't recognize you? Or turns away when you pet him? It could be due to a medical condition called cognitive dysfunction. So if your older dog loses interest in your family and no longer acts like he used to, we're home. Ask your veterinarian if Anapril can help. Side effects may include vomiting, diarrhea, or behavior changes. Consult your veterinarian before using with other medications or tick collars.
I can find a smarter way through the thickest traffic. Book a flight almost anywhere. And have a reservation waiting at the finest hotel. I have the only luxury SUV with the executive assistance of OnStar Standard.
OnStar, can I help you?
With my Escalade, there are no roadblocks.
Escalade, it's good to be the Cadillac.
Mom, the dog!
Ooh?
It's just laying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
I love waking up my kids, seeing their first smile. I try to put out their favorites because I know they're enjoying what they're eating. I want them to be prepared for the day.
Kraft Foods. We make it taste good, but you make it feel good.
They'll know when they walk out through that door, they know that they're loved.
Food brings us together. Let's make something good.
These fries are delicious. Are you sure I can eat these?
Yeah, they're low fat. Got the recipe from Pam.
Pam? I don't know her, but I like her.
Pam really cooks.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean continues on TNN. The Jimmy Dean Show was on the air from 1963 to 1966. Its popularity proved television viewers really enjoyed a bit of country coming into their homes, and Jimmy became known as the man who brought it there. He made the show accessible to a wide audience, but more importantly, he made it fun.
Howdy! Look out!
It was always crazy because that's Jimmy's personality, but that's what makes him tick and makes him a fine performer. He always seems to be having a good time, and it's contagious. And the studio audience and the audience at home feels that that having a good time quality, that in-fun quality, that sets him apart from being just a straight country music singer.
Thank you very much. We hope that the past hour has been 1/5 as much fun for you as it has been for us.
He can walk out and entertain a crowd for a long time with no instrument. No nothing, just stand there talking to them. He has that knack. He'll tell them enough jokes to entertain them. He really will.
Jimmy's humor, maybe more than anything else, has made him stand out as a celebrity for over 40 years.
A quiet Jimmy Dean. I have heard all the garbage that I care to hear about me coming out and being bad and nasty and jumping all over people. And I'm going to be the epitome of sophistication, decorum, and if you believe that crap, I got a lot more.
Jimmy is innately a very, very funny man. He can pull off a joke as good as anybody that I've ever met. And so he's always looking for funny lines and funny jokes, and just one punchline after another. Boom, 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 boom.
That's really a handsome coat. Thank you. If they'd had it in your side.
he's always funny. And he likes to be funny because he likes to make people laugh. He likes to make them feel good. And there's nothing in the world wrong with that.
What, you are Tansy?
I'm Tansy.
And did you put makeup on your feet tonight?
Yes, because we were in the park all day and I had on socks and I had this tan line, so it looked ridiculous.
Boy, you don't find pens like that in the bowling alley, I'll tell you that right now. You can look at her one time and know she's a girl. I knew it right off the book. Well, I want to tell you that it doesn't show at all. Right. That's what I want. She makes Dolly Parton look like a sharecropper, I'll tell you.
Jimmy Dean has always had the ability to keep an audience amused, but there is more to the man than just a good sense of humor.
On the surface, he can just be so brash and so mean and so everything, but I think that that's a big front that he puts up because he will cry at the drop of a hat. Some people say, you've heard the joke, I cry at ball games. Well, he will.
He is passionate about everything. Everything comes from his heart. He's a very sentimental person, and he doesn't do anything halfway, and that's what makes him.
And exactly what makes Jimmy Dean the man he is probably best revealed through the narrative songs that have become his trademark.
This little thing is something that I recorded, well, rather for a rather selfish reason, I guess. I did it for my daughter in hopes that many years from now she might pick up an old phonograph album and say, my dad must have thought I was a pretty good gal, and I do.
Ah, that's my lady. That's Connie. If any man ever had a daughter, I think you got to look at them like that. That's kind of the way it is, and that's the way life is. And life is both pretty and sad from time to time.
You're going on a very exciting trip. You're going to travel from yesterday all the way to tomorrow. It'll be a rapid journey, and you'll travel light, leaving behind you measles, mumps, freckles, bumps, bubble gum, and me.
I love it. If you notice, I always wind it up, good night, Connie.
Tonight, I kissed a princess, and I feel like a king. Good night, Connie. Thank you.
The Sentimental to a Sleeping Beauty went to the top of the charts, and good fortune seemed as if it were everywhere for Jimmy Dean. For 3 years, he helped set new standards for what would be considered successful on television, and he achieved superstar status in both the pop and country world of recording. This earned him the title, the Dean of Country Music. But even the grand name could not stop executives at ABC Television from taking Jimmy's show off the air.
At the time it was canceled, it was still a very, very popular show. I don't think they realized how popular the show really was. But it was canceled at the 32 week. I always remember that number because looking at ratings today and looking what makes networks #1, if a network could have a 32 shares their average for the week, that would wipe out every other network going.
By the time his program was canceled, Jimmy Dean had already become an American favorite, and soon he was a sought-after guest host on many of television's other shows.
He is the most diverse entertainer or celebrity that I know. Certainly, he has just about done it all, from being on television and making records and writing a Grammy Award-winning song, and he's got a lust for life like no one I've ever seen.
Jimmy's lust for life fueled his ambition. Throughout his career, he continued to expand on his ability to entertain, and by the mid-60s, he began acting.
It would be very difficult to say, you know, who is Jimmy Dean? Because he, you know, he entertained a little bit, acted a little bit, sang a little bit, did a lot of business, and a whole lot of things. But I have also been extremely fortunate. And I've said a lot of times, if my luck stops tomorrow morning, I've had one hell of a lot more than my share of it. been a blessed individual.
In 1967, Jimmy was back on television. Only this time, he was hired as an actor for the NBC series Daniel Boone. Soon after, he was playing roles in movies of the week. And then, in 1971, he made his feature film debut starring opposite Sean Connery in Diamonds Are Forever. The ambitious Jimmy was unstoppable.
If you had ever seen my act, you would have realized that diversification was imperative. Do you understand? I've been looking for 68 years to find something I can do, you know? And I'll keep looking. No, I don't care what business you're in. If you stick all your eggs in one basket, you're asking for somebody to slap a knothole in you, you know? And so I have been diversifying for years and years. I'm in more crazy things than you can imagine.
And the list of things Jimmy Dean has been a part of seems endless. For years, he not only brought entertainment into the home, he put food on the table. The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean returns in a moment on TNN.
Looks like one vacation is just more fun. We guarantee it. Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.
Mom, the dog.
Ooh?
It's just laying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
Don't worry, little one. Daddy's got Tylenol for his headache. Tylenol works on headache pain without the risk of stomach irritation. So before you know it, Daddy's going to be right as rain.
How can these monks balance their love of gassy foods with their vow of silence with Beano? It has a natural food enzyme that helps stop gas before it starts. Beano before, quiet after.
Outside your town, USA, is the honky-tonkinest little roadhouse this side of the country. Shake, rattle, and roll. TNN's Rockin' the Roadhouse Week. Starts Monday, April 26th on TNN.
Now start your day with Citrus Express, the amazing new machine that cuts and peels citrus fruits in seconds. Don't waste half the fruit. Citrus Express sections neatly, completely in seconds. Place the cover on the fruit and turn the cover one complete turn. Look, beautiful fruit and fresh squeezed juice with no waste. Just an empty rind. Cut and core a jumbo orange. Place the fruit on the wedge cutter, place on the cover and turn one complete turn. In seconds, you've got a healthy fruit salad. It even makes its own fresh squeezed juice. Costly store-bought fruit salad has preservatives. Now start your day the healthy Citrus Express way. With skid-proof base and stainless steel blade, it's dishwasher safe. You also get the all-purpose slicer. Great for even slicing of potatoes, fruits, and vegetables. A $10 value, yours free. Citrus Express and all-purpose slicer, only $19.95.
To order your Citrus Express, call 1-800-358-7104 now. Start your day the healthy way with Citrus Express. Call now to receive the additional free gift, the all-purpose slicer. Call 1-800-358-7104.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean continues on TNN. After almost 20 years in the business, Jimmy Dean had an enviable career, but it was far from over.
Welcome to the Jimmy Dean Show.
By the 1970s, he was again hosting his own show.
Here he is, Jimmy Dean.
There, Jimmy interviewed guests and sang both his songs and the songs of others.
I don't phone, no poo, no pets. Ain't got me no cigarettes. I but 2 hours a pushing broom, kitchen, 8 but 12 4-bedroom. Well,
But the Dean of Country Music was well on his way to earning a new title.
King of the road, well.
Jimmy Dean became the king of sausages.
People say, why did you go into the sausage business? And how does it relate to entertainment? And we are all selling a product. In Vegas, it was, you know, a story or a song. And now it's selling sausage and selling meat products.
But in order to do any of those or anything successfully, I think, first of all, you have to sell yourself. And then you can sell other things.
Once more, Jimmy used his unique talent for sales to promote his own product. And soon, he was better known for his links and patties than his illustrious career as a performer.
You know, on these cold winter mornings, it takes a little bit more than a roaring fire to start the day off. You need something to kind of warm the whole body up and get it going. And that includes a good hearty breakfast.
This old head's in front of that camera all the time doing those commercials. You might like to know that there's none of those that are written down. They're all ad-lib.
And in addition to being a good way to start the day, it also tastes awful good. Jimmy Dean's pure pork sausage. And
a lot of people had been in the businesses before Jimmy started his sausage business. Back in the early days, Tex Ritter barbecue, Hank Williams barbecue, all those people had products named after them, and chains open, but none of them made it. Every one of them seemed to have fallen on hard times, but not old Jimmy.
In the 1960s, the former poor boy from the Panhandle went home to make one of his many investments. There, he bought a hog farm, and in 1967, the business bottomed out.
Every hog that I sold, it was as though I had attached a $20 bill to his tail and said, bye. I was losing about $20 a hog. So I'm having breakfast in a little old diner in my hometown, sitting around crying the blues and licking my wounds and losing money on those dang hogs. And so I'm having sausage and eggs in that diner. And I reach up and I pull a gristle out of my tooth, about as big as the end of your finger, and I said, Lord, there's got to be room for a quality sausage somewhere. Sausage is a great deal like life. You get out of it about what you put into it. And at Jimmy Dean, we put in the good quality.
Using his grandfather's recipe, Jimmy launched his Jimmy Dean Meat Company. And by 1984, his product became known as America's #1 breakfast sausage. That same year, it was bought by the Sara Lee Corporation. But Jimmy still played an active role in getting the product noticed by the public.
If somebody had told me 25 years ago that we'd be making bagel sandwiches, I'd have said, huh? We've certainly expanded, and our company has become rather large. But I make no mistake about it, I'm still the best peddler in that bunch. I'm the best salesman we got. King of the road, well.
Throughout his career, the resilient and driven Jimmy Dean had turned setback into success. And while he continued to sing to the nation, his meat company was on its way to becoming a multi-million-dollar industry. Soon, Jimmy became more well-known for his brand-name meat products than his country style of entertainment.
Short, but not too big around. A lot more people recognize me for the sausage than they do for the singing. Well, you've heard my singing. When no one's around, I sing trailers for sale or rent, rooms to let 50 cents. Well, I'm a man, I'm mean by no means.
Jimmy seemed to have it all, but his personal life was lacking. Then that too became enriched when Jimmy fell in love.
King of the road.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean returns in a moment on TNN.
If you could take a perfect high note and put it in a gorgeous arrangement, with a fast tempo, perfect timing, and natural harmony, what would it sound like?
I don't know about you, but it sounds like Tennessee to me. So call today for your free Tennessee vacation guide.
If it's time to do a little groundbreaking, don't go at it the old-fashioned way. Tear through it with a garden claw from Garden Weasel.
Just position it like this,
and you'll be ready to cultivate, loosen, aerate, and weed.
The hardened steel tines rip through tough soil with just a twist of the Comfort Grip handles, even in heavy clay.
And it comes with a 100% lifetime guarantee.
So if you've got a tough job ahead of you, tear through it the easy way with the Garden Claw.
From Garden Weasel.
Available at Home Depot and participating Ace, True Value, Do It Best, and Service Star hardware stores. Makes a great gift.
Hey guys, if you have thinning hair, call 1-800-HAIR CLUB. We're going to send you our new 40-page hair loss update. Covers the most up-to-date information on hair growing drugs and methods, as well as Hair Club's most natural-looking, non-surgical hair development to date. You won't believe some of the hairstyles that you never thought you could have again that are now attainable through this method. Whether you're brushing your hair back, coming out of the pool, or just roughing up the hair, it looks and feels like your own growing hair. Call 1-800-HAIR CLUB for your free booklet. 1-800-HAIR CLUB.
Morning seems so much brighter after a good night's sleep. That's why I love my Tylenol PM. It stops my pain and helps me sleep. So in the morning, I'm rested, refreshed, ready to make the most of my day.
Rest easy. It's Tylenol PM.
1 Minute Malox or Mylanta Supreme? Before you choose, you should know that Malox Maximum Strength neutralizes over twice as much acid. When you get heartburn, make it 1 Minute Malox. The #1 choice of hospitals.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean continues on TNN. While Jimmy built the empire that earned him the title the King of Sausage, he never let his singing and songwriting career fall far behind. Jimmy the Performer was always in demand. He made public appearances from the Hollywood Bowl to the London Palladium and everywhere in between. The life of the Dean of Country Music was a real rags-to-riches story. But still, Jim never forgot his past or the person who had most influenced his life, his mother.
Mom, I owe you for so many things. Services. Services like night watchman, for instance.
In 1976, Jimmy recorded the recitation, I Owe You. It became one of the fastest-breaking records in the history of music, and its lyrics revealed Jimmy as a reflective and grateful son.
She was something else, you know? God love her. WPA came in with clothes to give us. You know, they were giving them away. And I told her, why don't you go down and get some of those? They look better than what we're wearing. She said, no. If we take that, we're charity. And if we're charity, that says we give up. And we don't give up, boy. Do you understand what I'm telling you? We don't give up. And until this day, I don't know what the word defeat means. I can tell you a hell of a lot about temporary setback, but defeat is not in my vocabulary.
My IOUs amount to more than I could ever hope to repay. But you know, the nicest thing about it is that I know full well that she'll mark the entire bill paid in full for just one kiss and 4 little words. I love you, Mom. Thank you.
By the 1980s, Jimmy Dean had a successful music, television, and acting career, along with a booming sausage company. But his life was further enhanced when he met his second wife, Donna.
Thanks to her, I know what that 4-letter word love means. I thought I knew, but I didn't, and I now know. And I'm grateful to her. I'm thankful for that a lot.
After over 30 years and 3 kids, Jimmy's first marriage ended. Then in 1989, during another one of his television guest appearances, his life was dramatically changed.
When you're as old as Dean is, everything reminds you of something that you've encountered in life.
I did it a lot just to go down and talk to Ralph Emery because we were, you know, buddies for a blue jillion years. And so we would yak and yak and yak, and he'd introduce somebody, and then so he introduced this gal, and then we went to talk, you know.
went back to our conversation, and then I started hearing his voice. And I looked up in that monitor and said, oh my God. And I'm sure, I'm positive I fell in love with her that night.
Very nice job.
Thank you. After the show, Jimmy was being very complimentary, and he came up to me and he wanted to hug me. And of course, I'd heard of Jimmy Dean, known of Jimmy Dean all my life, watched him on television years ago, knew all of his records. And so I was scared to death of him. And here he was wanting to hug me, and he was very friendly and scary. And so, you know, he hugged me, and I'm standing there, and I didn't know what to do. So I let him hug me, and he kept hugging me. And then I got away.
From there, Jimmy and Donna fell in love. Then in 1991, Jimmy made one of his most special appearances, only this time he was not the star performer, but rather the groom.
It enriches both the lover and the beloved. As long as the two of you love one another, trust one another, nothing in this world will be too difficult.
I remember when they pronounced us man and wife, I just wanted to hug her so bad. You know, the kiss was fine, but I just wanted to wrap around her and hold her, you know? That's what I felt like, and you can put an awful lot of love in a hug.
I'd always had this fantasy about what my dream man would look like. And he would be tall and broad-shouldered and handsome and mature. And I always had a thing about Texans. And here was this tall, handsome, broad-shouldered Texan telling me how wonderful I was. And if you have a man that tells you you're the most beautiful person that he knows, inside and out, that is really hard to resist. And so I found the man of my dreams in Jimmy Dean.
Jimmy and Donna have a storybook romance. They talk, they laugh, and they sing, but mostly they share. And that sharing often transcends the walls of marriage and lights up the world around them. The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean returns in a moment on TNN.
You may be surprised who's drinking Ensure. Healthy people. Why? Because to help you stay healthy, you have to eat right. For the times you can't eat nutritious foods like these, drink Ensure. With the essential vitamins and minerals you find in vegetables, calcium like in milk, and protein like in fish. Ensure is a source of complete balanced nutrition to help you stay active and energetic. Drink Ensure, and drink to your health.
This used to be my life. I'd wake up morning after morning with my allergies driving me nuts. So I went to my doctor. As part of an overall treatment program, he recommended a Honeywell EnviroCare air cleaner. It uses the same HEPA filter technology hospitals use, and it helps to reduce airborne allergens in my room. I wish I'd done it sooner.
The Honeywell EnviroCare air cleaner, the #1 choice of physicians. Available at Home Depot.
Ah, the stovetop canister lets you make just the right amount of stuffing. Whether it's a platter of pork chops or a romantic dinner for two, say meatloaf
or turkey.
Oh.
Dress up dinner tonight with stovetop.
Most nights, dinner around here is last minute, which gets us to Minute Rice. All right, how perfect is this? Minute Rice, cream of chicken soup, chicken breast. It's great. You want more last minute ideas? Call Minute Rice and get really good at this last minute stuff.
This is Nasal Crom. It doesn't just relieve allergies. It flat out prevents them. So you can live like a person with no allergies. With no drowsiness, no jitters, no dependency. Nasal Crom. The best way to stop suffering is never to start.
Mom, the dog. It's just laying on the bun.
That dog needs a new trick.
Beat the cold bun blues with Pillsbury Crescent Dogs. Just wrap them and bake them.
Aren't these dogs fun?
Good dog.
1 Minute Maalox or Mylanta Supreme? Before you choose, you should know that Maalox Maximum Strength neutralizes over twice as much acid. When you get heartburn, make it 1 Minute Maalox. The #1 choice of hospitals.
How do you get healthy hair like this? Hair with this sheen and body? Feed your dog Pedigree with Champion Skin and Coat System in every can and bag.
Pedigree, developed with vets, recommended by top breeders.
The Life and Times of Jimmy Dean continues on TNN.
Got my roll on my shoulder, first song I ever made. Well, I'm as free as the breeze, and I'll do as I please, just a bumming around.
Today, Jimmy Dean still takes the time to do one of the things he does best, entertain.
Don't feel any older.
After 40 years of hard work, life has certainly changed for the Dean of country music.
Just a bumming around.
Jimmy's so successful, he doesn't have to do anything if he doesn't want to do it. He does whatever he does because he wants to do it. And I think that he enjoys his life as much as anyone I've ever met. If he wants to do something, he goes and does it. It's that simple.
Today, what Jimmy decides to do varies. He performs on stage, chairs meetings in the Jimmy Dean Foods boardroom, and spends quiet time with his wife Donna at their home in Virginia. Unlike many legendary figures, for Jimmy it's important to help others get a good start. And so he and Donna developed a program to help children learn to read.
I'm living proof that this is a land of opportunity. And when I address students and talk to people about, you know, go get it and so on, and I keep getting a remark, and it bothers me. Oh, it's easy for you to say. God gave you talent. Damn right he did. He gave every human being talent. And I want everybody to find out what their talent is all about.
For Jimmy, it's time to give to all those who helped to make him famous.
When you're with him, you never know how many people are going to stop him because they think so much of him. They just want to talk to him or even touch him, you know.
I think that I have been the recipient of more love than anybody that I know of. And that's nice. And it's nice to be loved, and it's nice to love in return.
Jimmy is probably the most accessible celebrity that you'll ever meet. He loves people, and he loves it when people want to shake his hand or they would like an autograph, but he doesn't like it when somebody comes up and says, "Hey, Jimmy, you got to give me your autograph." Well, Jimmy will say, "No, I don't. I don't got to give you my autograph. I'll give you my autograph if you ask me for it." You know, and he is so honest. That's one thing about Jimmy Dean. Life with Jimmy Dean is not like a box of chocolates. You always know what you get.
If he's displeased, you know it, and if he's happy, you know it. I think the best thing that I can tell about Jimmy, you always know where you stand, and that's good.
There's an old poem that says, when you get what you want, and you struggle for self, and the world makes you king for a day, go to the mirror, have a look at yourself, and see what that man has to say. Because it's not your father, your mother, your wife whose judgment upon you must pass. The person whose verdict counts most in your life is that guy staring back from the glass. So I try to live my life where I like me. And I can honestly look in that mirror and say, "You're not a bad guy, you're all right."
I got nothing to lose, not even the blues, just a bumming around. That's enough of that. Don't overdo it. It's a wonderful ending you put on it.
Ray Ayala got a home equity loan. For making payments on time, we'll lower his interest rate once a year. That's the Back on Track plan. 2 steps forward, no steps back.
The Money Store. 1-800-LOAN-YES.
Darn bugs. Darn weeds. Let's see. I'll mix 2 teaspoons. No. 3 ounces. No. What'll I do?
Confused, Pete? Try the Ortho Lock and Spray system.
Hey, no spilling.
Yep, Lock and Spray is the easiest way to apply Ortho Bug Be Gone.
And we'd be gone.
No mixing, no measuring, no mess.
No cleanup. Yes. Lock and Spray's the easy way.
Leave it to Ortho.
Here's a new idea. A pain reliever from Aleve that goes to work fast and lasts all day. Introducing new Aleve gel caps. Like most gel caps, they go to work fast, but Aleve gel caps do more than work fast. They have the strength to work all day long with just 2 pills. It would take 8 Tylenol to do that. Look, if your pain reliever starts fast but won't last, get one that does it all. New Aleve gel caps, 2 pills, all-day relief. Works for me.
Looking for a new way to spice up your boneless, skinless chicken? Now there's an exciting new Shake and Bake made specifically for boneless, skinless chicken. Its specially seasoned coating seals in the juices for mouth-watering flavor like you've never tasted before. New Shake and Bake for boneless, skinless chicken. It really shakes up chicken.
Grandma's country fried steak was legendary.
My aunt made this meatloaf.
Mom's biscuits.
Made the whole house smell good.
At Cracker Barrel Old Country Store, you'll find the country recipes you remember and some new versions of old favorites, like our new 3-meat and cheese macaroni bake, loaded with smoked sausage, ham, grilled chicken, and 3 kinds of cheese. Just $6.39, only at Cracker Barrel. The country's right down the road at Cracker Barrel Old Country Store.
Looks like one vacation is just more fun. We guarantee it. Carnival, the most popular cruise line in the world.